Welcome to episode 18 of the Ringo Report. I'm your host, Brandon Ringo. Thank you so much for watching. There's a lot of cool stuff happening in Central Arkansas this week. There's a huge list of shows, so I'm going to go ahead and get to that. One thing that's happening tonight, Thursday night, at the Hall, Gavin DeGraw and Kevin Garrett are going to be performing at the Hall. I remember Gavin DeGraw's music, hearing it on like the radio, like on pop radio and stuff when I was a kid, and like I just loved it. And so that's definitely, the dude puts on a killer live show. Also at Whitewater Tavern, they're going to have Mando Signs. And then in Fayetteville, there's going to be Hot Springs' own Cosmic Cream. They're going to be performing with Townhouse Fire and Frail State. And then Friday night at the Hall, it's going to be there's a show that's basically, it's already sold out, and it's been sold out for a while. Polyphia is going to be performing, and this is like it's not even part of a tour. It's just a date that they just wanted to play in Central Arkansas, and so this is absolutely wonderful that they're here, and so I'm really excited about that show. And then something that's happening at Whitewater Tavern, Lightning Malcolm is going to be doing his thing, and then at Vino's there's an alternative hip-hop show called Fatality. It's got like William Wheat from Weirdo Media, you got Tan the Terrible, Johnny Vine, Two Stack Javo, and several more rappers. I'm always going to advocate going to these alternative hip-hop shows happening at Vino's, because I think what these kids are doing is very, very, very important. It's their own. It's the artists that are performing these shows. It's their own version of the hip hop scene, and it's absolutely killer. A lot of their music is just so good, and you never know, you might discover your new favorite rapper. So definitely Friday night, that's just something to look out for. Also happening Friday night, Aranda, Madam Mayhem, and Adam are going to be performing at the Rev Room. And then up in Conway at Full Moon Records, they're going to be hosting Buckshot Princess, Diet Sweets, and Sycamore. Now on Saturday in Benton, they're going to be having the Arkansas Vinyl Convention, which is going to be a really cool thing, especially if you love collecting records. It's a great place to go, and you can buy some records, sell some records, maybe discover your new favorite record. And then as far as shows, Hinder That is going to be playing at the Hall that night with The Reality of Yourself. That's going to be a cool show. Last time Hinder came, they played with like Two Shot Blondie, and it was just it was a sold out show, and it was just absolutely killer. So this is definitely going to be, I expect it to be the same. Now, happening at Vino's that night is a really cool show with Pet, Zilla, Max Lemaster, and Joshua Cannon. It's kind of like this is more of like your, Pet and Zilla are like noisy rock, but like the other two artists are a little bit more laid back. And so this is going to be a really cool, a very hip show at Vino's. Now, Bonnie Montgomery also is going to be performing with the Arkansas Symphony Orchestra at the Robinson Center both Saturday night, and she'll be doing it again on Sunday night. So that's definitely something that's going to be very special. And then there's a really cool EDM show happening at Full Moon Records on Saturday night, featuring Clado, Cranium, Missy Midwest, and P for Parker, who is a local upcoming artist. He's always playing shows around town and always doing cool things. And there, a lot of people talk about like, well, there's no EDM scene in Little Rock. And so much like the hip hop, these artists are kind of doing they're actually making sure there is a scene for that music. So this, if you like this, definitely something to support. And then a cool show with happening at Grandma Lolly's Party Palace on Saturday is Null Pink, Esper, and Epicist. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know what any of those bands sound like, but I do know, I believe, like, based on the flyer, it's more of kind of like a laid-back indie show. The only way to find out really is to go. If you don't know the address to Grandma Lolly's Party Palace, you can either message me on Instagram, or you can message the venue, or reach out to one of the bands, or if you know somebody, as they say, ask a punk. Grandma Lolly's Party Palace is a very cool way to discover new artists like this that you've never heard of, and it's just watching in someone's house, and you get free food. So I think that's really cool. Now, a huge show that's happening Sunday at the Hall, it's going to be Dayseeker, Silent Planet, Rain City Drive, and Avoid. Now this is like a really cool, like Dayseeker is described as like post-hardcore. They've also got like metalcore vibes, and like, there are a lot of clean singing, and Silent Planet is just absolutely killer. They played a sold-out show at Vino's a couple years ago. And then, so this is going to be a really, really big show. And then another really big thing that's coming to Simmons Bank Arena on Monday and Tuesday. Zach Bryan is going to be bringing his Quitting Time tour, which I think that's really cool that he's an artist that big is coming to Central Arkansas, and especially doing 2 nights is really cool. I know that on at least one of the nights, the openers are going to be the Middle East and Levi Turner. It may be different on the Tuesday, but also happening Tuesday at Vino's is a badass death metal show featuring Body Box from Florida, Corpse Pile from Texas, and the debut of To the Grave. Also, Severe Head Wound and Zash are going to be playing. This is going to be a really cool show. To the Grave is it's got Big Chris Pierce, aka Big Spooky from TAC Wrestling. He's on vocals. It's got members of Scorched Earth, and so this is going to be a really cool show on a back-to-back day of ass beating shows, because on Wednesday, Kubla Khan, Harm's Way, Pain of Truth, and Justice for the Damned are going to be playing at the Rev Room. Now, this tour is a really big deal. It's been a while since Kubla Khan has been to Little Rock, and so and this tour, like, the dates are selling out. All the shows are selling out. In fact, probably by the time I get done recording this, the Little Rock show is going to be sold out. So this is definitely something that's it's going to be it's a big deal that this show is coming here. The Banging and the Rock guys have been working very hard, and this show is kind of a culmination of a lot of that effort. It's in fact, Harm's Way is one of the bands that I'm most excited to see, and they played at Banging and the Rock last year, and I'm so glad they're coming back. Their music is so angry and so visceral, and it's like a perfect mixture of like groove metal and like hardcore and thrash, and so I'm just so stoked to see Harm's Way. And so that's some of the shows that are going to be happening. Actually, next week's going to be even crazier, because as you get into Thursday, Friday, Saturday, there's a lot of stuff happening and stuff. So this is all a good thing. It's really cool that we've got these kind of shows rolling through here again. Little Rock deserves these kind of entertainment, and especially it's a city that can support it. And so I think it's good that we're getting a chance. Now, 2 more big shows that got announced to actually as the day of this recording. On August 2nd at the Hall, they're going to have Beartooth, Currents, Boundaries, and Never Tell. Which it reminds me a little of the lineup like the Dayseeker. It's filmed kind of formed kind of in that same way. It's a lot of really cool bands that are like forging the way for like American metalcore and stuff like that. And so it's definitely a show that's going to end up selling out. Another really badass show that I'm excited that's happening coming to the Hall is on September 27th. It's KK's Priest and Accept. Now, if you don't know who those artists are, KK's Priest is led by KK Downing of the band Judas Priest. He was one of their original guitarists alongside Glenn Tipton. He ended up leaving the band and started off on his own, started doing his own thing. And so if you love Judas Priest, this is a good show to go to. They also like have their own, like KK's Priest has his own music and stuff. So this is some show for like the old heads, because like Accept is a band that's been making like thrash and like I guess what you would call traditional heavy metal since like the mid 70s. So it's really, really cool that this tour is coming here. Now, some new music that actually came out today, so that I want to spotlight, is the new song Death Mask from Coach Light. Coach Light is a band from Central Arkansas, spearheaded by Austin Sublet, recent Crashcast guest, and he's the guitarist of Wake. And their music is very heavy and like progressive, and it's like it's got moments that make you think it's death metal, but also it's got these very beautiful vocals from their new vocalist Abby Hull that give it kind of a different feel. So yes, definitely go check out Death Mask. And if you want to see Coach Light live, they're going to be performing next Thursday at Mutants of the Monster at 4/4, alongside a band called Sports, which I'll get into later. Also, that's going to be playing with Direwolf and a band called Flummox, which has been described as possum punk. So yes, anyways, this is going to be a wonderful show. Another cool thing that's happened recently is the Crashcast Award nominations have the nominations for the Crashcast Awards have opened, and so we've already gotten over like 100 individual nominations. So if you want your voice to be heard, if you know have a specific artist or venue or musician that you really want to support, go to the Crashcast Awards. Go to the Crashcast Instagram, and the link is in the bio, and go vote and have your friends vote. If you want someone to vote for your band, you're scared you won't get nominated, go have someone vote for you. This is how the game works. Because you can't, get nominated unless someone votes for you, right? So yes, this is going to be running until June 15th. And this is going to be awesome. I'm very excited to see who all gets nominated and see what the awards end up looking like. So this is going to be cool. Speaking of Crashcast, you definitely want to check out this week's episode featuring Gavin and Eli from Through Blood, which they're really special to me because Gavin is kind of the reason why I started doing the Instagram on social media, because he was like sending me messages on Facebook talking about, he's like, yeah, I loved your episode of the Ringo Report, and he was just saying all these nice things, and he was like, if you ever want to do a feature, we would love to be part of it. And I was like, well, I don't really have a way. And so, but because he was nice enough, literally, I just decided to make a way. I said, screw it. I'll send you 3 questions and we'll do it. And then on a previous episode of the Crashcast, I talked about Through Blood and kind of previewed their new show. And we've been friends since then. And he kind of kick-started something really cool for me. So I'm very grateful. And so definitely check out this episode. And go check out Through Blood, because they're going to be doing a lot of cool things, playing some really big shows, and they have a lot of cool announcements coming up. So they're going to be making a lot of noise this year, and it's definitely a band you want to look out for. Also, be sure and follow the Ringo Report on Instagram and Facebook. Every day I've been posting a different interview. I've got some really cool ones coming. Next week we're going to have a lot of spotlights for Mutants of the Monster Fest and Arkansas Death Fest, as well as some of the other things that are going on. So stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate every single person that gives me the time, and actually values what I'm doing with this. And so, yes, I'm very grateful. And be sure and stay tuned for next week's episode. And again, thank you so much for watching. And now I'm going to try something that Kurt gave me. It's a grenade. It's like gum. It's supposed to be minty. Oh, my God. Bro.
Can you breathe now?
I can't.